time is short and the road is long. In the blinking of an eye, that moment's gone. And when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best, 'cause inside you knew.
Okay, and welcome to the Philly podcast, presented by LaTerrainWatches.com, themonkeysuncle.net, and Back to 99 Productions. So real fast before we get started, well, of course, I'm Eric Perugini. This is Chris Lahiff, but we do have an announcement to make. We are no longer affiliated with SixPackCoverage.com. As to our surprise, they decided to end all their podcast streaming shows and everything. So it wasn't anything that we did, ironically, but they just they moved on. So the Philly is free agents at the moment. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks we're going to have some updates on that, as we have some things coming up, and we'll see what happens. But with that, tonight we're going to be talking about the revolving world of the Philadelphia Eagles, and as the birds turn for free agency and all this stuff coming up, and probably the state of the Eagles. Maybe we'll get some talking about the Phillies too, since they just started back up. But anyway, I digress. Chris, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I had to give a little love out for the PCL championship. Nice little clip. So I don't know if you followed it, but it was the most talked about thing on Monday night and Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I have to say I was dead to the world. No, I have to say I was dead to the world when it came to sports on Monday and Tuesday. But well, congratulations to the teams.
Oh. Yeah, it was fun. So let's dive right in to. I don't even know where to start. I just wish Philadelphia sports media would just shut their mouths. I
knew you were going to go there. Yeah, I mean, people want
to sit there. People want to sit there and take a break from the Eagles. I need to take a break from the Philadelphia sports media. They're the worst. And you figure 3 weeks ago, Howard Eskin was on, I don't know if it was the midday show or the morning show, and then tweeted out what a bunch of frauds they were and how they're trying to cause up thing. And then A.J. Brown calls the show and basically tells them that they're full of nonsense, that the Philadelphia sports media is nonsense. And then, of course, in Philadelphia sports media fashion, they respond, A.J. Brown's a diva. He's Terrell Owens 2.0. It's exhausting. And I'm so glad. And the only reason I know this is because of Twitter. I don't listen to 94.1. I listen to it at times, but it's not I know people who listen to that and that other show on 97.5, The Greatest Show. I don't know how people listen to 97.5, to be honest with you. Not that 94 is any better, but 97.5 makes me want to drive my car off 95.
See, I can listen to their morning show. The afternoon show for 97.5, Andrew Salchunas, who took over for Anthony Gargano, not bad. He keeps it real. He's like us, he doesn't hold anything back. He keeps it pretty real. I can't stand that fraud of a greatest show ever show. Number one, if you have to call yourself that, you suck anyway. And I hate to say that because I'm such a fan of Ricky Batalico that he's a part of that show. I think he's funny. I like him. I like when they do the angry Ricky segments.
Here's the thing. When he's talking baseball and just talking baseball, he's fine. It's after a Phillies lost where he's the absolute worst person to talk sports with.
Yeah,
he's emotional. For me, he's a Skip Bayless of Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, that's sitting below the belt.
Well, I mean, my thing is this: he's a fan, and he needs to be not a fan. And you can be emotional, but You got to be professional. I just don't think for when you're in that position, you gotta be professional, and you know I just don't understand how some of these guys have jobs. I don't. And like we sat there the last time we were on, we had the Super Bowl show, and you and Jacob picked the Chiefs to win. I picked the 49ers to win, but I also said the 49ers downfall will be Kyle Shanahan, which, I got a little flack on Twitter for it. I'm like, I don't know how people forget. Like, the guy just, I don't know and somebody compared him to Andy Reid his first 3 years. Because Andy Reid couldn't.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
No. Andy Reid never had a 28-3 lead. Andy Reid never had a 10-0, had a 10-point lead with 7 minutes left in Super Bowl, whatever, 55 or 54, whatever it was. Like, he didn't. I think it was 54. Andy Reid never had that. He never had that opportunity. And Kyle Shanahan is just, I think he's a good coach. I just think he's overrated. Like, I just, he did wonders with Brock Purdy, who, people sit there and were saying how good he was in the Super Bowl. And I was like, I didn't think he was that good in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he really wasn't.
He wasn't good. And then the 49ers fired their defensive coordinator. Like, he held Patrick Mahomes to 19 points in regulation. How is that the defense's fault?
Yeah, that was a scapegoat fire. That's all that was.
That's just a bad look. And you got Usher skating on the field, and Drake Greenlaw can't walk on the field without tearing his Achilles, which is hands down the worst injury I think I've ever seen in the history live of something like that.
Yeah, that was. I mean, look, and I hate to say it because I don't wish injuries on anybody, but when he went down, when you saw the footage of him running onto and going down, and I'm not going to lie, a part of me as soon as it happened, I was like, "Karma, bitch." That was the first thing I said, and I felt like an asshole for saying that.
No,
I really did.
No, because you know what? I always sit there and say, good things happen to good people. And I'm not saying Drake Greenlaw is not a good person. But when it comes to football, look at the ejections he had this year. Like, the 49ers were not a likable team. They just weren't. Like, Trent Williams always, whenever Trent Williams got in a fight, he was always thrown. Like, last year in the NFC Championship game against the Eagles, he threw Kayvon Ross, who was the smallest guy in the field, grabbed him. Like, they're just not a likable team. And it's, when you sit there and you look at, like, the 49ers and you look at the Cowboys, you're like, there's nobody in the 49ers, there's nobody in the Cowboys that you're like, ugh, like, you're annoyed at. Like, you're annoyed at the Dallas Cowboys fan base. You're not annoyed at the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers, they're just not a likable team. They're just not, with the exception of maybe Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy. Like, Drake Greenlaw, like, George Kittle's cool, but I just want to punch him in his face. I'm not going to say it to his face because he's huge. And Trent Williams is just not a likable person. Like, some of these guys that just aren't likable. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Take Debo. Look at Debo.
He's not a likable person. Like,
he's not likable. And
like you said, like, you sit there and say karma. No, it's exactly what it is, because, like, when you go back, and again, I always say karma always plays a factor. You look at 2017 with the Eagles. The Eagles, from top to bottom, were well respected. They did so much stuff in the community, between Carson Wentz, with the kid who died, and the things with that, and the team is. He's so mad. I did go to Roman. They listen. You're allowed to be mad. My son's behind me. He's Orion. He was at the game. I think he's still shook. Stop. But, like, the Chris Long, they donating his money to Philadelphia schools. Like, there's just from top to bottom, and I really believe in karma. I just think, the Eagles had it, and I just don't think that the 49ers were just not a likable team. the personalities weren't something that the NFL wasn't built for the NFL. And everyone can, and I don't understand the hatred for like the Patrick Mahomes and the Kelseys. Like it's almost we're almost to the point where we are with Brady, where people hated the Patriots and because they won so much. Like just get better than them. That's all. But now I said my piece and I'm gonna go to Ryan's comment.
Can the Eagles please get actual cover linebackers?
I'm
Nothing
gonna
wrong with
let
Eagles,
you
right?
go into this. I'm gonna let you lead with
Well,
this. You can
look, they're not going to do anything with linebacker. I really don't think they are. It's just not in Howie's MO to respect the position of linebacker and fill the needs of linebacker. He's always going to try and get those guys in those 1-year deals that are trying to like prove something and do good for themselves. I mean, look what he did with Kaiser White. The guy, I keep bringing that guy up because he's a quality linebacker who you brought him in for 1 year. He played well for you, and they had a great rotation last year of the linebacking core. You know, T.J. Edwards. You had Reddick. You had, so I don't think that he's going to do it. He tried to do it again this year, and I like to say it all the time: be cute about the position of linebacker. To be quite honest with you, I think a bigger worry for them is in the your D backs, your safeties, and your defensive backs. That to me, that's a bigger worry for me.
I'm going to piggyback off this comment. There was no way that the Kansas City Chiefs were letting Snead go. Like, there's no way. He was legitimately the best cornerback in the league. He didn't give up a touchdown until the AFC Championship game. There was no shot he was coming to the Eagles. I think the Eagles, because I haven't heard anything, I think the Eagles go after Queen from Baltimore. I think they overpay him. And I think they draft Trotter to work with him.
I definitely see them addressing something with that secondary. Whether I would love it if they went after Patrick Queen, but it's the whole linebacker thing. Like Howie does not go after linebackers. So as much as I would love to see Patrick Queen here, the kid's only 26 years old. You could invest in him, and you could really do some damage with Patrick Queen. And well, you don't have to worry about at least Byard. They're gonna release him. There's no way they're keeping him. His cap hit for next year is just astronomical. They're not gonna do anything with him. I think they're gonna let him go. I think that they are actively trying to work on keeping Hassan Reddick. From what I'm hearing, people are saying it's about a 50-50 chance that they can get something done with Hassan Reddick. But the fact that the Eagles basically went to him and said, go ahead and look for a trade when he didn't ask for a trade, I think that kind of tells you what direction they're going in. And I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying about Bradbury here in your comment, but all indications are they're committed to him for this upcoming season because of his cap hit also. I mean, Howie said that.
But again, I get it. Bradbury was terrible the last half of the season. He's not a bad corner. Did he just forget how to play football?
If you use him right. No, if you use the guy right, I still think for an old cornerback room that we have with our two starting corners for being older guys, I still think that if you use Bradbury correctly, he's effective as a number 2. He's not a number 1, but I mean he also looked like he was cooked last year. So you have to see what they do with him. But yeah,
he definitely looked cooked. He definitely looked cooked. I'll say that. But I mean, let's also not forget, like, and again, I'm not taking anything away from Bradbury. He was terrible. You know, that Igba from Hughes or Seattle had the game winning catch over him. Like, there was a lot of
Mhm.
plays last year.
Right.
I also think a lot of it comes down to the defensive coordinator. Sean
Mhm.
Desai was hands down the worst coordinator in the NFL. When your
Absolutely.
defense is giving up at third down percentages of 50%, you're gonna look bad. So we had so I think there's gonna be there. Slay was still good last year. People want to sit there and say Slay had 14 or 15 passes defense last year. That's a good season.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um,
I mean, he's still
obviously,
graded high for PFF standards too. He's still graded
yeah,
pretty high. It just seemed like
yeah,
he was giving up plays.
yeah, and when you give up more plays than you have, it's gonna get it's gonna get escalated, and as it should. Like,
Hmm.
when you stink, you need to get called out on it. I just think I think they need to address the linebackers position. I think they get Queen. I think they get Trotter, and I think they're going to draft a safety.
Yeah, I agree with them drafting a safety. I really do because after what happened with what's his name last year? Who was it that got hurt? Tore his ACL. The young kid. I
Sidney
forget the
Brown.
rookie, Sidney Brown. Yeah,
Sidney Brown.
he was playing well. He was playing really well actually, and it's a shame what happened to him. But
No,
I do.
Brock
I
Purdy
think
did not destroy the Eagles. Debo Samuel destroyed the Eagles. Debo Samuel had 130 yards after the catch. Let's be realistic. I'm not taking anything away from Brock Purdy, but I was at the game and they just didn't want to tackle him for some reason. So let's calm down on the Brock Purdy destroyed the Eagles. It's not what happened. I know you don't like the Eagles and you're a Packers guy, but that's not what happened. I was at that game. Debo Samuel was running craziness over them.
yeah, he was. Um, but yeah,
But
so
was he?
it's
He came back and stunk. Maddox came back and stunk.
yeah, absolutely. Like everybody was so excited that Maddox was coming back, but he didn't do nothing when he came back. So, and again, is that the player or was it the coaching at that point in time? See, and this is where I like the fact that they got Vic Fangio. There was always a mutual interest there, and it's going to be interesting because Vic Fangio's defense revolves around a lot of linebacker play, which I this is why I want them to try and keep Hassan Reddick. I want them to try and do whatever they can to keep the guy. I mean, even though yes, he is now hitting that 30-year mark for his age. I thought it was going to be like 31, I believe. So he's at that age where teams start looking to move on from players. Um, but I would love it if they got Patrick Queen. And there has been some rumblings about him and the Eagles. But again, it is way too early to read into this stuff. It's just way too early. So, but I'll tell you one thing: it would be cool if they went all in and tried to do something. I mean, what if they did decide to throw a boatload of money at Snead? What if they did? I mean, there's a lot of teams. I mean, look at that new salary cap with how much the
Yeah,
salary cap went up.
yeah,
There's a
but I
lot
mean,
of
but they can't do anything because he got the franchise tag got placed on him.
oh, did they? See, I didn't know. I haven't
Yeah,
been able to keep up with what was going on.
yeah,
All right. So now, but here's the other thing with this money that all these teams got now, which was unfriggin' real with the jump in the salary cap that the NFL got, which you can thank that streaming media deal. Everybody may hate it because it's just another service you have to subscribe to, but this is the money is the result of these streaming media deals. So my thing is the first thing I would have done with this new cap, with that 30 million at each team, I would have had Smith signed right away. I would have extended him right away.
Who, Devontae?
Yep,
You don't need to.
absolutely. You don't think so?
You don't need to because you're going to pick up his fifth-year option. And then if you need to, because remember, he's a first-round pick, so you can pick up his fifth-year option. You can pick that up, and then you can do one of two things. You got to remember, he's a free agent in 2026 because if they tag him in 2025, it's one thing. So if they tag him in 2025, they can work on an extension, and the salary cap will go up and up. So that way they'll be able to afford him and Brown.
Okay. Well,
I tell you
that's
who I
one way
don't.
to
I
look
tell
at
you.
it.
I tell you who I don't think is going to be back in 2 years. I don't think Dallas Goedert's going to be here.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think he's too injury prone.
Yeah, they got to do something. That's a position that they have to look into. Also, they have to really look ahead for that one.
He stinks. Don't stop it. If they're gonna do anybody, they're gonna again. Jack Stahl stinks. I'm gonna throw this name out there just because he's a Georgia Bulldog and that's what Howie likes to do. If he doesn't get drafted in the first round, the Eagles are taking Bowers in the second round. He's a tight end from Georgia who's really, really good. But I think he's a first round pick. Listen, there's also listen, trades are going to be happening.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy time.
Is Kyle Pitts going to stay in Atlanta? No one's taking a tight end in the top 10. I'd be shocked if anybody takes him in the top 10.
Is this guy a troll? Is he a troll?
No.
Is he trolling us right now? Like
Mike
for real?
This is who he wants the Eagles to sign.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying
how much money is that going to cost?
I'm not saying Kyle Pitts doesn't blow. But you saw where he was drafted. I don't know if he's going to be, if teams are going to look at, Kyle Pitts. Oh God, that's not, Kyle Pitts, who was the fourth overall pick in the 2021 draft. That'll never happen again. And he's been terrible.
Yeah, well, he hasn't really had quarterbacks to throw at him either. I mean, like the Desmond Ridder, which is pretty interesting because there's a lot of rumors flying around that Pitts is a trade is going to be available. They don't know what they're doing with Desmond Ridder. They want him to be the guy, but they're not sure if he's going to be the guy. There's even rumors that they would consider moving Bijan Robinson. They just got the guy. Like Atlanta is a mess. An absolute mess.
Atlanta's a mess. I don't understand. Like he had 1,000 yards his rookie year, and then he missed 7 games, and then he missed 2 in last. He missed 7 games in 2022 and 2 games in 2023. If I'm him, I'm asking for a trade.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. They're a friggin' mess. Well, you saw that Zach Wilson is he's allowed to look for a trade, which I was like, where the hell is he going to go?
Did you see somebody tweeted out? Cowboys should go after Zach Wilson. They'll finally have a quarterback who will win the Super Bowl for the Cowboys.
My God. Can we literally just stop with like the Cowboys getting everybody and they're going to win the Super Bowl every freaking fucking year?
So hold on, I got one for you.
Yeah.
Chris Sims says Josh Allen is the most talented quarterback he's ever seen play. And he also said that Jalen is the most overrated quarterback. That is a guy who hands down lives off of his last name.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm at this point where I don't know if he's trolling or he actually believes what he's saying.
No, he believes what he's saying. No, he believes 100% what he's saying because he's getting paid to say stuff. So what he is saying, he believes what he is saying. Like this guy could be a politician. He is absolutely terrible at his job. I'm the most monotone person in the world when I'm talking on this mic. I'm completely terrible. I'm better than him. And I've never once played the game of football on an NFL level or at college. The crap that comes out of this guy's mouth is mind-boggling. Not boggling, boggling.
My bad.
It it's like I can't stand him. Like the fact that he still has a job saying the dumbest stuff in the world. Like I think he's trying to be a Skip Bayless. I really do. I think he's just trying to be a Skip Bayless and just get the clicks. And I admit I fall for it because I get enraged every time I see something that this idiot spews out of his mouth.
You don't believe that, so stop it, Dunbar. Stop it.
God, it's literally, yeah. Like I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The best part of Chris Sims ran down the back of his mother's leg. That's the best part of the guy. I'm sorry. I hate him. I hate using that word, but I hate the man. And he looks like an idiot too.
He does.
I mean, he's forever got that Eric Trump on coke face. Like he has that look about him all the time. Like the eyes wide and oh my god, like the lights are too. Get out of here! I can't stand him. Can't stand him.
So you figure T. Higgins, he was tagged.
T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to happen. They really like their wide receiving core.
Yeah. Brian Burns is supposed to get tagged. Antoine Winfield. L'Jarius Sneed got tagged. And that's it so far.
That's good stuff. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm just when thinking back on it, like looking at what the Eagles need to do and everything, and I'm just getting tired of every year it's the same thing, with the linebacker position. But I'm numb to it now.
They're not. Like no. It's the media. Stop. Listen. Turn off 94.1. Plain and simple. That's what I can tell you to do. Turn off 97.5. Listen to XTU or listen to Sirius. Do not listen to the idiots on 94.1 who are telling you that A.J. Brown's getting traded. They're not trading A.J. Brown after 2 years. Hey, this is what we do. This is, again, we run players out of town. Like it's a revolving door. First it was Wentz, and then it was Simmons, who deserved to be run out of town. Then it was now it's AJ Brown. Back in the 2000s, it was what's his name, Eric Lindros. Like this is like these, and this idiot, and then this guy on FS1, Carton, who's sitting there saying all this stuff that he doesn't know what the guy is he's a criminal guy in FS1. He started the rumor and the lie in the early 2000s about Eric Lindros being drunk and hungover. Like he's a liar, and he's a sneak, and yet people. And then I guess Fox continually loves white guys who just start rumors and lies. That's all I can sit there and say. They're ridiculous. It's ridiculous how stupid the Philadelphia sports media is. And our fans need to be smart and just don't listen. Take away the ratings. Listen to XTU. Listen to MMR. Listen to B101. Listen to 98.1. Listen to oldies music on 98.1, and then shoot yourself when Eminem's on there, because that's what I understand.
Yeah, and your boy, your favorite guy, Marcus Hayes. That's another one, man. That guy
is just a straight racist. He's a straight racist, and he just posts stuff for clicks. That's all he does.
He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. He really is.
There was something. I thought somebody pull something out today. So I will have an announcement about this at the end of the show. So I'll have an announcement at the end of the show. But
okay.
I just just stop listening. Listen to Taylor Swift.
Couldn't listen to Taylor Swift. Oh God. That's it. Taylor Swift runs the country.
Well, since you brought this up, can we talk about Dollar Dogs Nights going away?
Yeah, that's it. Thanks, you college shitheads. One of the most fun events that the Phillies have had over the last 15 years, and now it's going away because people want to throw hot dogs at each other. Idiots, all idiots. This is why I hate our fans sometimes. Like, you ruin Dollar Dog Night. Like, how the hell can you ruin Dollar Dog Night? Oh, I know. Let's just start throwing hot dogs at people.
And
Like I
launching
said,
them.
yeah. Like, come on, man. The only person who should be launching a friggin' hot dog is the fanatic with his hot dog launcher. God, yeah. I'm really upset about that. Like, Dollar Dog Night was always a fun thing for the family. Always a fun thing for the family, and now it got ruined by all these stupid idiots. Or as Eskin would say, you nitwits.
Oh.
Yeah, but the Phils are actually. I know it's spring training and all that, but they've been looking pretty good.
Yeah,
they got a lot of guys that are like hitting the ball, making a lot of contact, which you want to see in spring training. I mean, because let's face it, there's not a lot of spots open on that roster. So to see all these other guys up there hitting, it's a good sign. There's a lot of there's a lot of competition going on, but yeah, I mean, but there's no room on that roster for anybody. Well, since we didn't get to talk about it, what do you think of was it Mitt Merrifield or Whit Merrifield? Is that his name?
I love it. I love the signing.
I called him Mitt. Wiz Whit.
I love it.
Yeah, I thought that was really good because that was a person that they sorely needed, a guy that could play multiple positions like that. That was really good. And in fact, he's a former All-Star. I love it.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm just gonna sit there and I'm gonna continually tell you, just don't listen to sports talk radio. Like, just stop.
Excuse me.
Like, just stop. If you're gonna listen to anybody on sports talk radio, listen on the weekend when you listen to Glenn Macnow and Mike Cielski. Those are the guys I'll tell you to listen to. But there's no one else that is even Jack Fritz at times.
Yeah, their weekend guys on WIP are really good. Like, I do enjoy Macnow, even though I think he's getting a little dated. He's good though.
Yeah. But he's got Cielski, who we interviewed with this Kobe book. And he's good. Like he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty good, man. He's got a lot of contacts. He's got a lot of stories. He's got a lot of inside stuff. Mike Cielski, he's a good guy, good person, good reporter, and great writer too.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's really nothing going on other than the signing, the tags and everything else. Like, we don't really have much to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you got the combine going on this week, but that's more so for the owners and the coaches and GMs that are there. And well, actually, I do want to ask you something about what did you think of this whole thing that came out about Sirianni being some kind of tyrant on the sidelines when Big Dom wasn't there? To me, this is another thing of why the hell are we talking about a goddamn security guard? Like, I don't want this guy on the team. I don't want him around the team anymore. I think he's more of a distraction now than anything. Everybody's making a big deal out of a fucking security guard.
I think it's just people starting because it's easier. It's easier to blame that than it is to actually, listen. They collapsed. It happens. They collapsed.
Yeah,
It
and it's
sucked.
funny
They
too.
collapsed.
That's a,
I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to like it because you want to know why. It's easy to come up with an excuse as to say, hey, Sirianni couldn't let his emotions control on the sideline. I never saw his emotions control, like losing his shit on his players, and they would
yeah,
even
because I
come
mean,
up for how many games?
if and that's the thing that made me laugh too, because if I mean, look, we all know that he's an emotional guy. We've all seen that. But if he was
It
getting
is
in fights with his players and his coaches, not one camera picked that up.
not one. This is why
Not one
when I sit
camera.
there, but when people want to sit there and just, this is. I just go back to this.
That's good stuff.
like, like,
That's
like,
good.
like, I didn't see him once argue, and it would have been
Yeah,
picked up.
no. Yeah, that was the thing that I didn't understand. Like I heard the story and right away I thought it was, I was like, okay, I was like, is there truth behind it? I was like, is that I said the only truth is he's a passionate guy. I said that's the only truth there is to it. Like we've all seen him on the sidelines. I think this was just another way of trying to play up his sideline antics, as they want to call it, because
Yeah,
he is not a likable coach outside of Philadelphia because he's so animated and he's showing emotion and he's getting hype with the team and he's living in the moment.
and
He's
I don't think that
sorry,
I don't think the Philadelphia sports media likes it either. Listen, this isn't the '70s. This isn't the '80s anymore.
well, the thing I don't get is like why don't they like it? You know what I mean? It's like he's a story. It's
Because they
something to
listen to
talk
the
about.
radio, and the radio tells them not to like it. The radio system says, "I don't like his stuff on the sideline." That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Listen, you know me. I've said it for years. We have our fans are great. They're that. They're this. They're that. They're phenomenal. They stick through the teams through good and bad. They're there. It's just the way of the world. We do that, but they're just not like they don't think for themselves. They don't, like perfect example is you want to sit there and no one cares about Tennessee. Tennessee was 7-2
No.
in 2022. They lost their last 8 games and went 7-10. They got knocked right out of the playoffs. You didn't hear one inkling because it's Nashville. No one fucking cares about Nashville. You go to Nashville
Yeah.
to party.
Well,
That's it.
yes.
No one cares. And that's the thing is like these people listen to the garner your own opinion. Just if you think that he got in sideline arguments, tell me why you think he got in sideline arguments. Because when you're winning, you don't see it. When you lose, it's bound to come out. And let's be realistic. They were 10-2 or 10-1, and they got one win in their last 6 or 7 weeks. You don't think we would have saw a multiple sideline outburst between the coaches and the players?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
the whole Jalen Hurts folded under pressure because of the contract. Again, it goes down to the play calling. The guy still had 38 total touchdowns. And this is what
I didn't.
by the way, the tush pushers are get banned. And people want to sit there and say all this stuff about the 15 rushing touchdowns. What's the difference between that and, again, just take half of them and make them – here you go. Make 7 of them. It gives them 30 passing touchdowns. They're 1-yard passing touchdowns. Still the same thing, right? Is it not?
Same thing. Same thing.
Same thing. Just like I don't think he folded under pressure. I just think he struggled, and it happens. You listen. You saw it. You saw it on the Manning cast, how predictable their play calling was.
Oh,
And then
yeah, absolutely.
may, maybe there was a disconnect between Sirianni and the offensive coordinator because he wanted the players to be called. Maybe there was. Okay, Brian Johnson sucked. There's no doubt
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, he was pretty bad. But I do want to switch gears real fast. How about this um, free agent pool of running backs in the NFL? This might be the greatest pool of free agent running backs ever. And it sucks because nobody's going to pay them. Nobody's going to pay a running back. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, Travis Henry, DeAndre Swift. Like, these are
Derrick
some
Henry.
guys that are going to be. What's that?
Derrick Henry. Travis Henry.
I'm sorry. I said Travis Henry. Yeah, Derrick Henry. I'm sorry.
I was like, whoa.
There's 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 some names that are out there, and it's going to be interesting to see who actually gets a deal. Well, I mean, they're going to get deals, but I mean,
here's the thing. Josh Jacobs was hurt. Saquon Barkley was hurt. Tony Pollard was hurt. Austin Eckler was hurt. And I don't know who's. And 2 years ago, Derrick Henry was hurt.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's why they're not going to get paid. It sucks.
It's
Derrick Henry should probably make around $9 million. Josh Jacobs the same thing. Saquon just it's just the way the market is. These running backs are going to make no more than $9 million a year.
Yeah, it's pretty much because if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much what the tag is for that position too. It's about $10 million.
So I got a question.
So that's what's up.
So the Eagles are clearly are going to have a spot open for running back.
Mm-hmm.
You sign Ezekiel Elliott
To be the feature back?
No.
Wait.
Short yardage.
Well, who's your actual running back?
Take a little. Oh, I don't fucking know.
I'm not worrying about short yardage when I don't know who's going to be my 3 down.
They're going to use Gainwell.
Well, guess what? We're effed. They're totally screwed if that's going to be the thing. Like if they honestly think Gainwell's going to be if they honestly think he's the guy, then they're screwed. I wouldn't want to see Elliott here because he's going to wind up taking carries away from Gainwell, and then we're going to have Zeke Elliott here. No, I mean short yardage. Okay, fine. Yeah, he's a big body. Go get up like behind that line, and any big running back behind our offensive line, regardless if Jason Kelsey's there or not, is going to get yardage, is going to get touchdowns, especially in the short yardage game. I don't know. If it's short yardage and you can get the guy at the right price, yeah, why not? Kick the tires on Zeke Elliott. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? They could Rashad Penny him. I don't know. They could sign him for 1 year and throw him to, healthy scratch every week. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many guys out there at running back. I mean,
and they're
I
not
don't know.
going to get paid.
Yeah, I mean, now
paid.
if you're gonna look at a position where Howie should be saying, "Hey, 1 year and done, whatever, let's do it," it's running back. I mean, it's running back. You could have one of the best running backs every single year on a 1 year deal. You really could. I was talking to someone today, and they're like, "Oh, well, what about Austin Eckler coming here?" I was like, "Coming here?" I said, "Kellen Moore?" I went, "Yeah, he's already played that game." I said, "He just had one of his worst seasons ever." I said, "And he was hurt." I said, "But he had one of his worst seasons ever under an offensive coordinator who does not run the football." I said, "Why is he going to leave and then go to the same person in another city?" I said, I don't see that happening at all. Unless he learned from his ways and he's going to start, running the ball more.
I think he is because I think he whatchamacallit's still going to have a say in the offense.
Sirianni.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, he'll have his say. He'll sit there. He'll be involved in the meetings and stuff. But I don't know, man. I mean, you had DeAndre Swift last year, who had his best season as a pro. Literally had his best season as a pro, and he wasn't used half as much as he was in Detroit. That's the funny thing. That was the scary thing too. He was that good last year. Yeah, so I don't know. There's when I seriously though, when I sit there and I talk about the Eagles, the thing that gets me is, I mean, I think the linebacker chatter is too easy. It's predictable. Everybody knows that they need to invest in the linebacker position, and I'm crossing my fingers that they sign Patrick Queen. I really am. Uh, um, I think they're going to need more help in the safety position because they're like Howie Roseman said it at the combine. Bradbury is in their plans for this season, mostly because of that cap hit. But he said it; he's in the plan, so they're running it back with Darius Slay and James Bradbury. They absolutely need, and I mean need, to address the safety position because as of right now, you're running back Reed Blankenship, who's probably at best a number 3 in this league, but he's starting for this team. That's kind of scary, and he's played well in the times that in the time he's on the field. He's played well. He's had mistakes, but he has played well for the most part. I definitely want to see them do something at safety. I mean, we know that they're going to move on from Bird or Byard. I'm sorry, Kevin Byard. His cap hit is going to be way too big for them, where they're going to feel comfortable. I I'm on the fence about Hassan Reddick coming back. I mean, these are questions we have going into this season and this off season before we've even actually hit the off season. Think about that. They're already in trouble now with the players they currently have on their roster. And you're talking about moving on from Kevin Byard and Hassan Reddick. You have to replace them. And that's what scares me the most. Like, are they going to replenish their secondary and linebackers in the draft? Or are they going to do it with a combination of free agency and a completely other direction with their draft?
No, it's going to be interesting. Like so. I hope that for the love of God, I hope they address the linebacker position. So, but I wonder what San Fran's going to do because you got to figure he's out for next year, is he not? Greenlaw. Why is it not working? I know. Hold on. Can you hear me now? No.
No, it was Chris. It was me. I lost my mic. I could hear you. I just got my mic back.
Can you
I
hear me
lost my
now?
mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I heard you. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I
Did
heard
you hear
you.
me what I said? I said, what's
I
San Fran? You got to figure the San Fran go if they're a linebacker for 1 year. You got to figure Greenlaw's out for the year. He snapped his
yeah, I
Achilles.
mean, in the Super Bowl, yes. I mean, that's the worst time. Like that I mean, you're talking about late in the year. That's late in the year. Um, I don't know. I mean, they. I don't know. They feel. I kind of get the feeling that San Fran feels that they're good at depth wise on their team. I don't know if they do anything major. So I mean, I don't know, but they yeah, they do. They feel pretty confident in their depth on their defense. Like their defense is good. I mean, but I mean, you are losing a guy like Greenlaw, which is a problem. So I don't know. But yeah, they do. They feel confident in their team.
It should be an interesting offseason, to say the least.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of stuff that's going to happen. Like it's being talked about. You know, this off season could see a lot of major trades going down this year. Like the most trades in the history of the league in this off season. Not just players, you know, and draft picks too. You know, there's going to be a lot of stuff going down, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see who does sign somewhere. You know, like it's going to be so much fun. Like I said, this is my favorite time of year.
It is. It is your Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, this is my Super Bowl. The entire off season is my Super Bowl. I love this stuff. I absolutely love this stuff. So, but yeah, man, the Niners have literally started falling apart on social media.
It's hilarious. I love it.
I mean, they're fighting with each other. You got Debo Samuel, who seems to be more focused on the fact that he considered their season a win because they beat the Eagles and the Cowboys. And he's kind of just like throwing his hands up. Oh, well, you know, we lost the Super Bowl, but we can get back there next year. But you know what really did it for me? Beating the Eagles and the Cowboys. Like, bro, if that's your priorities, you're pretty screwed up in the head. You need to reset and get back to football.
Yep.
Like you were look, they were favored in the Super Bowl, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Or one
favored
half.
in the Super Bowl. So I mean, it's just one of those things, man. It's like when like they're and like the players are falling apart. They're you know, you got one guy that still can't keep the Eagles and the Cowboys out of his mouth, and he did not show up in the Super Bowl at all.
Mm-hmm.
He disappeared, and that's all he could talk about. There's two other teams that were not in that game.
Well, what are
Yeah,
you
so
gonna
I
do?
mean, well, I mean, like I said, they're confident in their team, but they have to. And Brandon Ayuk, he was being interviewed and asked about, oh, would you in his exit interview at that, like this was confirmed by his family members. Asked, oh yeah, well, do you see yourself being back here? And he goes, if the situation's right. That was his quote. If the situation's right, that he'll be back in San Francisco. Yeah, because that's friggin' reassuring.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the world. So.
All right. Well, let's see. It's 10:30. What was your announcement?
Uh,
Uh-oh. The Hall of Fame Club podcast.
yes, I am doing a baseball podcast with my buddy Jeremy and my buddy uh, Keith. Doing a Phillies podcast. So I'll have.
Living in this big blue world with my head up in outer space. I know I'll be A-O-A-OK. I know I'll be A-O-A-OK.
Yeah? From what I hear, you couldn't hit water if you fell out of a fucking boat.
That's my favorite line in any baseball movie.
Oh
Kevin
God, I saw it
Costner.
on. I forget where I saw it at. I was like, "Oh, this is getting downloaded."
That's so good.
So
So
yeah,
good.
we're doing it. So it'll be on our Twitter, our Facebook. So, we're getting hits. So, it's gonna be a fun
Good
time
stuff.
talking about
Good
Phillies.
stuff.
Yep. It will
Good,
not
man. Well,
interfere.
good luck.
It will not interfere with football. Nothing will. So,
He's like, nothing will.
oh,
All right, man. Well, that sounds good.
yeah,
Well,
so
I don't know
I'm gonna-
about you, but I'm ready to call it a night.
Yep, I'm gonna end it with what I started it with. Get a little shout out again. You got anything to say before I click it?
No, I'm good. I'm good, man. I mean, other than, just search for us on all your podcast platforms, whatever you listen to, Apple, iHeart, Spotify, definitely Spotify and Apple. Those are our two biggest. You can check us out on Twitter at CEV Sports. You can also find us on Facebook. And, that's all there is to it, people. Just hit the subscribe and like buttons. And don't forget to hit those downloads, too.
Yep. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Peace
End it
out,
with
peeps.
It's all on the line. In one shining moment, they're
Hold on. We're still live. Can we just give a shout out? I don't know if anybody watches AEW, but Sting's final entrance last night. I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. I'm like, dude, he's coming from the rafters. Even I knew this. Like,
Yeah, I called it. I called it too. I was like, there's no. I said, that's what they're doing.
but they swung that down real low just in case.
Well,
But
the guy
that's
is
it.
63.
Right. That's it. I just wanted to bring that on because I forgot because I just saw like the thing on my phone.
It's
Surfer string.
Sting!
It's Sting. Peace out.
It's all on the line. In one shining moment, they're frozen in time. The time is short and the road is long. In the blinking of an eye, that moment's gone. And when it's done,